Guten Tag, everybody. It's the Doctor in once again for another episode of the Camry Podcast. We're 4 episodes in now. It's our first month off the box, so thanks everyone for tuning in this far. Thanks for keeping track of things, and thanks for sticking with it, giving me the support. It's good to know that some people are interested genuinely in what we're doing, or what I'm doing, I should say, and keeping up to date with everything. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you stick around. Eventually there'll be some more interesting things on the channel. For now, I'm just sort of documenting as we go throughout the year. I do want to give a shout out before we get started though, because I'm not actually driving. Relax. Just forgot to take my seatbelt off. I want to give a shout out to my best buddy Chris. He has a YouTube channel named Chris Speaking with a K with a Chris. So a lot of his content inspired me to start sort of documenting, doing podcast stuff as well. He basically just does vlogs, I guess, which is what this is. I just call it a podcast as a joke. He is trans. He's currently going through the process, and he's sort of just been documenting it to sort of keep people informed of the do's and the don'ts of supporting people through it, and what it's like going through it. We've talked a lot, and yeah, his channel documented, like his documentation inspired me to sort of do it as well. So shout out to Chris. I know we don't see each other enough, buddy. I really hope that once we're settled in the new place, we can do some more stuff together. So be sure to go check him out if you like just listening to people talk. Sometimes it's quite therapeutic. We were talking about that the other day, actually. Sometimes it's just therapeutic to just sit there and relax and listen to people talk about things, and especially if they do things or talk about things that you can relate to. So yeah, shout out to Chris, man. Hope you're doing good. Don't see each other enough. I suppose that's the case with all of our friends, so hope you're doing good, man. So I hope you're all good. I hope you're all healthy as usual. Unfortunately, I know a few of you aren't, which is kind of why if I look a bit deflated today, that's why. We've taken some big L's this week as a team. Everyone just seems to have had one of those weeks. I'm not going to go into details, but basically, we've had breakups, we've had people in car accidents, we've had people sick or significant others that have been sick. A good friend of mine from work, his workshop resigned. The 2 people that were working there resigned. Thankfully, it's his second workshop, so it's not his whole business gone, but it's a ton of stress, and now he's got a big ass workshop with no one in it and a whole bunch of crap that he has to sort through, and he's been stressing a lot. So, and that worries me. Like, he's one of the people that has always checked on me. When I'm having a bad day, he's always the first person to drop a message and go, "Hey bud, how you doing? Everything okay?" The guy stands 10 feet tall, and he talks it and he walks it, and he's one of the most toughest, resilient, tough guys that I know. So when he comes to me saying, "I feel like I failed," that's what I'm like, wow, okay, things are a bit heavier than I expected, so but he's doing all right. Him and the gang are sort of sifting through that, so that was another thing that was going on. I almost declared, the doctor almost had to declare bankruptcy this week, because my car got fixed on Monday. As is always the case with old cars, they found other things that were broken that we didn't realize were broken. So stupid me just told them, yeah, sure, go right ahead, do it all, because the parts were cheap. I did not stop to think of the labor cost. Whoops. Yeah, do not make that mistake. If you ever look at car parts and they're cheap, that's cool, but just keep in mind, some things take a lot of money to fit. So, yeah, lesson learned. example made, moving on. But yeah, so I would have had just enough to last. Thankfully, there was nothing big this week. But then my insurance came through and I was actually in negative, which pissed me off. I went into a real depressive state for a few days until I got paid again. Because I'm sitting there in the process of moving, in the process of packing, and I'm just like, my bank account is in negative. How am I ever going to get a house? How am I ever going to support my partner and my future children and our dog and our little animal family that we have? Like, it's just, it really put me in a bad place. And everyone else has kind of been there too. Like, I'm not saying that other people's misadventures have depressed me. It's just, if you've been following these podcasts, you've been listening to me talk for a couple of hours now. And you know that I care about people. I care about each and every one of you, you know. And I've said it, that you're all an intricate part of my life. And, you know, there are some people I work with that I think of friends first and colleagues second, you know. Working with them is just an advantage, you know. They're a friend first and most. So when they're going through things, I naturally feel bad for them, you know. I feel like I wish I could do more. I wish there are things I could do. But, you know, work for me this week has actually been okay. Like, it was a busy week. It was a big week, and it was pretty chaotic. But something changed up here. Like, I learned to embrace the chaos of everything. I learned to just roll with it. And I've just sort of been able to get through the week pretty well in that regard. Obviously there's been a lot going on everywhere, and work's been a part of that. And having some of my friends at work going through things whilst all the stuff at work is going on, it's very confusing. It's very, very weird. It's a massive whirlwind. I've ended up feeling tired more than anything. But when I get tired, I get frustrated. So I'd come home and I'd just be really irritable. And, you know, I try to play games to unwind, but everything I touched in a game just seemed to turn to shit. Which pissed me off, because I'm like, fuck, this is supposed to be my unwind thing, you know? This is what I do. So when you enjoy something, you like to be good at it because you enjoy it. And when you suck at something you like, it pisses you off so much. Like, I'm sure anyone who's a gamer out there would understand. And my mechanics, to an extent, especially with what's going on with the workshop, as I explained, like, they run a good business, they have good customers, and they do good things to good cars. So when something like this happens, you're like, how did this fucking happen? I was better than this. We are better than this. What the fuck? You know, sort of thing. So I'm not going to sit there and pretend I know how businesses work. I'm just commenting from what I've seen and what I've spoken about, or what I've been spoken to about. So, guys, if you're watching from that particular workshop, I hope everything's okay. I am thinking about you guys. I know there is jack shit that I can do from my end of things, but if there's anything we can help with, please don't be afraid to reach out, you know. So yeah, it's been a bit of a rough week. Everyone's really taken an L with things, and I suppose these are the weeks that are really going to test us. You know, it's either going to these are the weeks that make or break people, and a lot of people are making it. You know, they had stuff to deal with, but they're dealing with it. They're pushing through it. They're pushing forward, which is good. It's what we like to see. I'll admit, having one of our workshops closed like that was a blow for me, because the two chaps that did leave, I thought were mates. We talked a lot. We hung out a little bit outside of work. We talked about cars. We shared a common interest. One of them used to work for a place that I worked for as well. So we worked together and didn't even realize it previously. So yeah, and if there's one thing that fucking sucks, it's when you think you have a friend and you don't, you know. Like, I know there's the old saying, and I see it on Facebook all the time, not everyone at work is your friend. Get in, shut up, do your job, go home. Yada, yada, yada. But, like, as of next month, I'll be doing what I've been doing for 6 years. And automotive-wise, I've been in the industry for about 9 years now. So, I'll be honest, this is the longest job I've held. This is the longest thing I've held in my life. So, and over the last couple of years, we've finally built a strong, positive team of people there. So, it's hard not to be distracted, I suppose, by when things are wrong, because we're a small team, and any small team, well, it's like an engine, A small engine needs all the bits working together, working in synchronicity to make everything work. And when one part's running rough, everything else starts to run rough, and everything starts to fall apart. So if you keep your team happy, you can keep the engine happy. And if the engine's running as it should, it can power everything else, to keep it in automotive mechanical terms. But one positive out of this week is that I have finally got the car where I want. I've done a little modification to it. I still haven't put a video out to show off the Camry. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should keep an air of mystery. Everyone can sort of make their own predictions as to what the Camry looks like. I know some of you do. I know some of you are friends with me on Facebook and things like that, so I know that some of you already know what the car looks like, but let's keep an air of mystery for now and see what people think. But no, mechanically she's mint. I've got everything fixed. She's had a service. She's had all the mechanical stuff done. She looks good. I've got the wheels looking how I want. She's a straight car. She's a smooth car. And yes, she sent me broke. But it was worth it. But yeah, it was literally the Thanos meme of Gamora asking, like, just imagine that Gamora is my Camry, where she's like, is it done? As in, is it fixed? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, what did it cost? Literally everything. Like, literally everything, and then a little bit more. So, but yeah, that's one thing I've taken as a positive. I've always been a car person as well as a military buff, so having a car that runs good, having a car that's just good, it's a positive thing in your life. As I said, when you're good at something and when you have a passion about something, it can cheer you up. Like, hell, I can get cheered up just from seeing particular cars on my drive. Like today, we saw a C1, an original C1 Corvette on our drive around town, and that was great. I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's mint. That is mint. My partner and I also had a classic example of what we're like. We were coming down a side street, and immediately on the left was this black Ferrari 488, blacked out wheels, awesome looking car. And there was someone walking their dog on the other side of the road at the exact same time. So I'm sitting there pointing to the car, talking to my partner, being like, holy crap, look at that. This is a Ferrari 488 all blacked out and everything. And then at the exact same time, she's pointing over here going, oh my God, there's a dog over there. We have to pet the dog. Oh my God, look at that. How did you not see the dog? And I was like, how did you not see the Ferrari? Like that's it. Like, we're both massive dog lovers, but that's the sort of thing that gets our attention. Like, normally if we see dogs around, dogs are great. Everyone loves a dog. Even people who admit they think they don't. They do. Like, every time we see a dog driving around, we always point it out. And we're like, hey, look, there's a dog. We both do that. But in this case, obviously, I had something else catch my eye. This sleek, low-ass Ferrari. Gorgeous car, but I don't think I could ever sit in one of them. Like, I'm not built for Ferraris. Nah, I'm not built for Ferraris at all. I'm not built for Lambos and things like that. Great cars to look at, but I've seen the seats of these things. I mean, when I went to Lakeside and we had a close-up look at the Senna that was there. Mint car, by the way. Gorgeous car. I remember looking at the seats and I'm just like, no, that ain't happening. That's not happening. Even if I can afford one, no. Like, the other thing I have to consider now as well, of course, is any future car I get is going to have to be family proof, because me and my partner want to raise a new generation, to, have as our own, and, to do that all. And, of course, the dog. So, every time I look at a two-door car or a two-seat car, she's always like, where's the dog gonna go? I'm like, we ain't putting the dog in this. I'm pretty sure if you bought a Senna, you wouldn't be putting a dog in a Senna. Unless, of course, he was driving. But technology hasn't quite got that far yet. So, that's pretty much been the week. A lot of ups and downs. A lot of L's taken. But everyone seems to have recovered. One of my colleagues was away a couple of days looking after a significant other of his. And when he came back, the day he came back, he's just one of those people that seems to have an air of motivation around him. He has an aura to an extent. And when he came back, the day he came back, everyone just seemed to dig their heels in, I suppose, and just push a little bit harder, and get on top of things. And I felt something shift in a good way. Like, it's easy to read the room with a small team like that, and there's a lot of energy that's there from a lot of different areas, and something just seemed to shift in a good way. And like, everyone had stuff going on at the start of the week, and then by the end of yesterday, it kind of felt like most of it was on top. Like, we got on top of most of it. Like, as I said, a couple of friends have had some breakups recently, which isn't fun. I'm feeling for them, and I hope they're doing okay. They're a very proud person. They don't show a lot of emotion. They always try to be upbeat, happy. One of my colleagues said that her spirit animal was a kookaburra, most likely, because of the fact that she laughed so much. But, I just hope that they're doing okay with everything. They seemed to be all right when I left at the end of the week. My colleague whose partner was ill, he was saying that progress was good. They were feeling better as well. Obviously, I got paid, so I got out a negative. So we built up on that. I think this week was important for me personally, because obviously when you're faced with adversity in life, be it at work, financially, at home, elsewhere, with friends or whatever, you've always got two choices. You can roll with it. You can just wallow, I suppose, in the shit and just realize this is fucking bad. This is a bad situation. Everything fucking sucks. Fuck, just dropping swear words everywhere. Or you can embrace it. You can embrace the chaos. Use it. And drive yourself. And just say, fuck it. Everything's fucked anyway. We might as well try and do something with it. And I think that's what happened this week. I think for a change, my motivation just went, not today, Satan. Not today. And yeah, we basically fought back against things. I think that's the best way to describe it. We fought back. We pushed back. And it felt good, And that's like, anyone out there can do that. Like, whatever you're dealing with in life, there's always two choices. You can let it take you, or you can fight it. And as someone who has dealt with the black dog for many years, I feel that a lot, And I'm sure a lot of you guys and girls do as well. And you guys know that. You know that you can either accept it or you can embrace it. And I seem to have embraced it. Perhaps a little too much. I have been a bit too much of a smartass for my own good. Luckily, it hasn't landed me in any hot water as yet. But in terms of pushing envelopes, like, this is the ledge, and the envelope was kind of like teetering there. So, I'll chill out over the weekend. We'll come back on Monday and just get things back underway, get things on track. Pretty good. I do have a weekend for a change. I know the last few times I've spoken to you guys, we've been doing renovations on the new place. Nothing needs to be done this weekend. Still went for a drive today. My partner has been introduced to the wonderful world of succulents. Plant succulents. Yes, I'm sure all the girls in the audience right now know exactly what I'm talking about, and all of their partners know exactly what I'm talking about as well. Also, while we're doing shout-outs today, screw you, Ollie, for getting her into this. And I know you're watching this, and I know you're listening. Damn you all. My house is now going to be a jungle. My walls will speak Vietnamese. There's going to be trees everywhere. I will admit, though, it was quite nice. We went to like this succulent sort of store that was having like a warehouse clearance. And it was set up really nice. It was like all these plants. They had lighting on the roof. It was like walking through a jungle. It was quite therapeutic, actually. I quite enjoyed it. And it got us out of the house. It got us for a drive across town, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, she's got 3 now. Well, no, she had 3. She now has 2 because one of them decided it didn't like us. And, sorry, the camera just tilted a bit. And decided to, just be out of here. She was like, oh, I'm going to feed you and love you and all this stuff. And it was just like, oh, peace. And yeah, I've been given a crap for it. Which, is what you do. But, we all have our thing. I collect tanks and cars, a lot of cars, and I guess she collects plants. And she's like all about the energy that they give off, and she's like, oh, it's good to have them in the house. And I'm just like, cockroaches live in plants. A lot of bugs I don't like live in plants. But then again, the modeling part of me was like, we could use them as a diorama. Have like the little figures in the tree. Have like a Land of the Giants style thing. You get like one of those toy plastic spiders. I have missed building. I have missed doing diorama stuff. I've had so many fucking ideas that I wanted to do, and I haven't been able to do any of them because everything's packed up. We can't do shit until we move. So I'm just like, really hoping his ideas are still there when we move. So yeah, there's a lot to take in this week. I know a lot of people had a rough time, and I sympathize with everyone. Like, I can't begin to imagine what some of you are feeling. I can't begin to imagine how some of you are dealing with things. I know a lot of people like to keep their cards close to their chest. So, if you're going through stuff at the moment, I do sympathize with you, and I hope that you're okay. And if you're not, even if you don't know me, I'm always open to talk, because I've stayed up late many, many times over the years to help people, even people I didn't know, at parties and things like that. I've just always naturally been a caring person, and I would like to think my mother was the person that put me into that. It was one of the things she taught me. Unfortunately, her passing anniversary is next week, so next week's podcast might be a bit put off. It might be delayed, or it might just be a bit more of an emotional, soul-searching one. There's a few heavy things we need to talk about, and that might be a good opportunity to talk about it, But yeah, I would rather stay up and talk to you than find out that you passed without any help. Yeah, and I've been on both ends of that. I have been there and helped people, and then there have been times where I haven't been able to, and I wish I had. And it eats at you, So whatever you're dealing with, big or small, if it's a big deal to you, then it matters. And, we always want to help you out if we can. So I think we'll wrap it up there. I know the last few episodes we've gone a bit longer than usual, but yeah, I think this week was just about dealing with rough days, dealing with rough times, making sure that you can stay on top of things, giving yourself motivation as long as you have something. For me, it has been War Thunder still. I know it sounds like I'm a paid shill for them, but the game's like really scratched an itch for me lately, and I've been having a lot of fun, and that's what I've used. I'm just thinking about whatever I'm unlocking or whatever I'm working towards each time. Last night I stayed up way later than I should have because I had a challenge to complete, and once that challenge was completed, I would have unlocked a World War II destroyer to use, which was very similar to Grandad's ship. And the moment I realized that it was a very similar ship to Grandad's, my brain was like, yeah, this is happening. I don't care how long it takes. I want it. And I knew it was going to eat at me, but I did it. And I went to bed feeling a lot more relaxed and a lot more content than I thought I was going to. So, yeah, as whatever you do, don't ever let people think that, or don't ever let people tell you that your motivation or your passion is silly, If you have something in life that you aim for, just concentrate on that. And just don't worry about everybody else, because there's 7 billion people in this world. If you tried to cater to them, you would go insane. And I know this too. From being someone who cares a lot, you try to help everyone out, but everyone's different. Everyone's got different things, and it's hard to cater for them all. So you just focus on you and what your passion is, and everything will fall into place from there. So that'll be it for this week. Should be an interesting week next week to see how things go. If you've hung around again, as always, thank you very much. I'm trying very hard to try and get some traction with this. It seems to be working. I still see a couple of subs popping up here and there, which is great. The views aren't quite as high, but it happens. Not everyone has time to sit there and listen to these things. So thank you all once again. Take care. Stay safe. Please don't go do anything stupid, or at least talk to me first before you do. So stay safe, stay calm, and who knows, Dr. Ryan Mattel's little therapy group might turn into an army one day. So take care, stay safe, peace out, all of that, and I'll catch you next week. Take care.